I did a little GoFundMe and I brought Jesse down and we sat in this room and I remember Jesse, I was like, and how I do it in the room too is I don't treat it as their story. I treat it as their song. So we already came up with the song idea, which is like how to come home, like how it feels different. So I told the guys, I was like, hey, we have this idea for a song based off of some of the stuff Jesse went through, but he does this. I was like, well, Jesse, why don't you tell him about the song idea? And so Jesse goes into his story because it's the song. And so he's still kind of down and out, just like, it's such a small town I come from. People knew I was injured before I came home. So they try to pump me up and they'd see me in the market and be like, oh, you're looking so good. Aren't you blessed to be home and glad to be home? So he was telling the story and Blackjack Billy's like, okay. And they have a guitar. So they're actually playing something here. They say, what about something like, hey, boy, you looking good. I know you're glad you're back. Man, I heard you got hurt real bad. Is it something like that? Jesse's eyes just lit up. Because when you hear that with actual music coming back and you just said these words and now they're singing them back to you, he opened up more than I've ever heard him talk before, like word vomiting. And I heard stuff he's never even told me before. And we're like really close. And it was the coolest thing ever because after 3 hours, he was texting the song to his wife, to his sister, to his mom. He was telling his entire story to his family he's never talked to before about that story.
Wow.
And his mom was like, we got our son back. And his sister's like, I finally understand my brother-in-law. And it was one of the most important things I've ever done because I realized right then, a 3-hour session could absolutely save someone's life.
Yeah.
So then probably a year down the road when I decided I was going to try to make that leap, I still didn't know what it was like, though. It may not even been a year. It was probably like 6 months. Same random. There's so many moments in my life that are just like, whoa,
like serendipitous or something.
So God, I mean, for me, it's a God thing. It's like everything was planned, and it's so in your face that it's hard to deny sometimes when you hear these. But I'm now in Chicago. I just wrote with Jesse, and I'm on cloud 9. Like this is gonna work, but I don't know what to do. I'm just Marine, just here
trying to figure it out.
And so at the time, I'm living with 2 different roommates in Chicago off the Brown Line by Wrigley Field a little bit, but just down the road. So I was at Addison Brown Line. There's Addison Red Line, so I had to like walk a mile to home if the Brown Line was shut down. So lived over there. One of my roommates was a 4'11" girl named Cammie, I knew her from Bloomington, Illinois. She just needed a room, and I had an extra room, and so she started renting up there.
Cammie,
yeah. I was at the time dating a girl who was going to school in Peoria because I met her when I was in Peoria when I was going to school in Bloomington. I started dating this girl, and then I went to Chicago for school.